It's 1950, and you're at the cinema watching All About Eve, enjoying the fantastic plot and the amazing, talented actors, the great writing, the twists and the turns. And then, a pretty petite blonde enters the screen, only just for a moment. But in that moment, you know that's a star. She's a nobody, but a part of you can tell, even surrounded by big names, that you can't keep your eyes off of her. She's enigmatic. Well, the casting directors must have felt the same way because a few years later, the world would know her name. Marilyn Monroe. But what made her stand out? What made you notice a woman who was only a small one-line appearance? The first guess would probably be, well, she's beautiful. But there are lots of beautiful people out there that don't become massive stars. This is because Marilyn Monroe, and many others like her, have not just a beautiful face, but a cinematic face. The beautiful face is one of balance and harmony. Symmetry is prized, as are youthful traits like wide eyes, clear skin, and soft features. These are evolutionary signals suggesting health, vitality, fertility. In a visual economy, beauty is currency. It's the kind of face that photographs well in still images, that sells makeup or perfume or romance. It reassures us. It promises perfection. This kind of beauty tends to be passive. It's designed to be admired. It doesn't provoke or challenge. It invites desire, but not necessarily depth. On screen, beautiful faces often populate advertisements. They offer us a mirror to the world as we'd like it to be. Smooth, wonderful, untroubled. A beautiful face is often defined by symmetry, clear skin, small noses, features that don't stand out too much, but give an overall feeling of youthful attractiveness. But then, there are faces that don't fade into the wallpaper of beauty. They cut right through it. These are cinematic faces, and they are defined not by symmetry, but by singularity. A cinematic face is all about uniqueness. These are faces with tension in the bone structure, with lived-in texture. They catch the light in unexpected ways, deep eye sockets that turn haunted in a shadow, noses that sculpt the silhouette, cheekbones that frame 1,000 expressions. These faces often don't conform to commercial ideals. They may even be seen as odd or harsh or flawed, but they carry a deeper power. They suggest history, emotion, and character. They tell stories even in silence. Where beauty looks perfect in a photograph, cinematic faces live in motion. They shift. They surprise. They hold contradiction, soft and severe, worn and luminous, fierce and fragile. They aren't always beautiful, but they are always watchable. Directors and cinematographers know that some faces simply hold the frame, not because they are flawless, but because they change in light, because their contours create drama, because they leave room for mystery. Faces like Adam Driver, Tilda Swinton, Steve Buscemi, or Charlotte Gainsbourg are unconventional and unforgettable. The camera doesn't just record them, it converses with them. Beauty can fade into a sea of other beautiful faces, but cinematic faces are about contrast, strangeness, gravity. They're not designed to soothe the eye. They're built to pull the viewer in, to make us wonder what that person has seen. A cinematic face is not always beautiful in a classical sense. It's about presence, emotional expressiveness, and how the face catches the light and the lens. It often involves unique or memorable features, asymmetry, distinctive bone structure, scars, crooked teeth, or even expressive wrinkles can all be cinematic. It has a strong silhouette or contours. High contrast features respond well to lighting, such as a strong nose bridge or really sharp cheekbones. Softer features, of course, can be interesting too, especially those that are unique. Elle Fanning, for example, has quite soft features but still looks unique and is wonderful to watch. Leonardo DiCaprio in his youth had soft features as well, but again, he was still unique and interesting to watch. What matters most is that these are faces that can be interesting when doing all sorts of things on screen or when doing nothing on screen. Marilyn Monroe also had soft features, but she had another important aspect of the cinema face: expressiveness. Ability to convey a range of emotions through micro expressions or eye movement. Hence why Botox is causing many actresses to become less cinematic. The entire point of acting is to convey emotions, so removing your ability to do so is completely paradoxical to the very notion of being an actor. But it goes beyond expressiveness alone. It's about unique expressiveness. Many great actors can laugh and cry, but those who have a unique way of talking or moving their face, crying or laughing, such as Keira Knightley, become even more enigmatic to watch. Going back to Marilyn Monroe, look at the way she talks. It's not normal, but it is captivating. That's what made her a star. A cinematic face is a face with character. It is a lived-in face, a face with history, depth, or mystery. Think Willem Dafoe or Tilda Swinton or Steve Buscemi. There is something about it that is different, maybe even a little strange. Something that makes it impossible to look away. So, why is this important? What makes this not just a bunch of random vain contemplations on an actor's looks? One Hungarian film theorist said that it is the close-up of the human face that distinguishes film from other performance arts, especially theater. Unlike a staged play, the camera can bring us up close to a face, to gaze deep into the eyes and examine every contracted muscle in intimate detail. This is what makes cinema cinema. It's not watching a scene from 20 feet away, 30 feet, unable to make out an actor's face. The audience is right there with them, feeling their every turn of emotion, however minute. Watching where their eyes go. Are they on the other actor's eyes? Their lips? Or have they drifted off in another direction, not even paying attention? This detail is what cinema gives us. Today's movies are becoming increasingly filled with actors and, honestly, especially actresses who care more about being beautiful than about being compelling to their audience in their art form of choice. Filling their face with Botox and fillers, no longer even able to crinkle their eyebrows or frown. The older stars with interesting features are filling them up, warping them, changing them, and in turn, losing their cinematic quality. While at the same time, young people are being cast for beauty over intrigue, over uniqueness. And this is a problem, because the difference between a beautiful face and a cinematic face isn't just about aesthetics. It's about purpose. Beauty attracts, cinema evokes. In a story-driven medium like film, emotion trumps perfection. We don't remember how symmetrical a character's face was. We remember what they made us feel. Beauty might sell a moment, but cinema demands more. Truth, ambiguity, honesty, openness, humanness. That's why the most compelling performances often come from faces that can hold conflict. Faces that can be both open and unreadable. Faces that don't say ideal, they say human. It is more important for an actor to have a cinematic face than a beautiful face because they are meant to tell stories, not conform to beauty ideals. In the end, the point here is one that a lot of the industry has forgotten, that there is beauty and then there is cinema, and they are not the same. A beautiful person can be a model, can be the greatest model in the world, but they might not be even remotely interesting in a film. It's the uniqueness that is dying out, being slowly overgrown by nepotism and social media and lazy casting directors or lazy producers, or just for the sake of making money. But those in the industry need to not forget the magic of the cinematic actor, as that is what makes a movie great. That is what binds your audience to your actors and takes them on the journey of your story. Viggo Mortensen wasn't the most famous or even the most attractive, but man, did he make everyone root for him in Lord of the Rings. And as someone who personally didn't care for the Hunger Games books, Jennifer Lawrence made me care for her in the films. Meg Ryan made audiences care about all of her love lives. Tom Cruise made audiences care about all of his impossible missions. Tina Fey and Amy Poehler drew you right into their shenanigans. Jennifer Hudson made you root for her over Beyoncé. Whoopi Goldberg made you want to sing along in a habit. Pam Grier made you want her to take the money and outsmart everyone. Leave them all in the dust. Cinema, bring back the magic, the uniqueness. Because audiences want to care about characters, even if they're in a stupid teenage love triangle. They want to root for the heroes, cry when their best friends die. They want to fall head over heels for the love interest and hate the bully. They want to laugh when the lead laughs and smile when they find happiness. And to do that, to bind audiences so dearly to an actor, they must be able to captivate you, to interest you. They must demand your attention. And while a beautiful face can make you stop and admire it for a moment, a cinematic face makes you stop and fall in love with it for hours.